Hail, Thunder Faithful. It's Mjolnir Monday, November 19th, and it's time for your weekly Thunder. Starting off with a couple of football injury news after that horrible, very quick injury to Des Bryant. The Saints signed Brandon Marshall, another wide receiver who was also looking for a home. And yesterday, Alex Smith, who plays quarterback for the Washington professional football team, broke his leg yesterday very gruesomely, and is significant enough to mention on this show because it's 33 years to the day where Joe Theismann, another quarterback who played football for Washington, D.C., he had a nasty, gruesome injury to Giants linebacker Lawrence Taylor, which pretty much ended his career, I believe. In Disney news, going back to The Mandalorian, which is the first of the Star Wars Disney shows coming to the Disney Plus system, Game of Thrones' Pedro Pascal, who played the most explosive head ever seen in the show or in television at all, he's been cast in the title role as the Mandalorian, with Deadpool villain and former MMA star Gina Carano also cast. And Joe Russo, the director, or one of the two directors of all the best Avengers movies, he confirmed there was a Stan Lee cameo for Avengers 4, and it's likely, but not confirmed quite yet, if there's a Captain Marvel cameo, and it's a toss-up if Sony and Fox got him for Spider-Man Far From Home and Dark Phoenix, respectively. And getting into wrestling news, because of course you know this show is pretty much a wrestling program hidden in random other subjects. The Marine 6 Close Quarters came out this past Tuesday on Blu-ray and digital, starring The Miz for like the fourth time, I think, and WWE legend and one half of Degeneration X. Y'all remember that team, don't you? Shawn Michaels, and the Irish Lass Kicker, the man herself, Becky Lynch, playing the villain. She plays a damn good villain, I might add. Also, the first trailer for Fighting With My Family, starring Dwayne Johnson, Nick Frost, Lena Headey, Vince Vaughn, and Big Show, just came out, and it's a biopic about Paige, and I could not be more excited about this. I'm pretty much just about as excited about this as I am for Captain Marvel and Avengers 4. So yeah, just wrap your mind around that. Also, last week on Raw, the rest of the men's team was filled with very recent rivals Finn Balor and Bobby Lashley. And Braun Strowman agreed to stop chasing Baron Corbin around for betraying him at Crown Jewel, and in exchange for being a team player on the Team Raw Survivors team, Stephanie McMahon promised him a crack at Baron Corbin and another shot at the Universal title. The Raw women's team was revealed with Nia Jax, Tamina, Natalya, Mickie James, and Ruby Riott. And then who else but the man herself, Becky Lynch, ambushed Ronda in the locker room with a disarm her, then went to the ring to face the women's team, who was all, "Hey, come at me, man," or "the man." And then they got ambushed by the entire SmackDown women's roster. And it was an all-out brawl that was amazing. And until an accident happened where Nia Jax actually connected on a punch and gave Becky a concussion and a broken face, and Becky Lynch still pulled out a chair when Ronda Rousey came into the ring and beat her senseless and then walked away like a badass. And then on SmackDown, to conclude all their business before Survivor Series, Daniel Bryan turned heel and he kneed AJ Styles in the groin. See the What Would Thor Do Dick Kicker episode coming very soon in issue 6 or 7. And he became WWE champ, and he'll face Brock Lesnar in the Survivor Series. Also, Becky had to choose a replacement to face Ronda Rousey since she couldn't get cleared medically at all to fight, so she picked Charlotte Flair, and they had a hug. It was very nice. And then during the kickoff game, or the kickoff to Survivor Series in the hour before it started, Naomi named herself SmackDown Women's Captain during the kickoff show and named Mandy Rose the 5th member. Also in that kickoff show, the Usos were the sole survivors in a 10 versus 10 tag team survivor battle, as SmackDown notched an unofficial victory that actually didn't count, which really sucked. And you'll see why later after I get done talking the rest about this. But before that, on Saturday night, NXT, the WWE Farm System, had their takeover for War Games 2. And Aleister Black defeated Johnny Gargano, sort of ending-ish that feud, or we'll see if it goes on for like 5 more months. The NXT Championship happened with Tommaso Ciampa defeating the Velveteen Dream, which is a shame because everybody was hoping the Velveteen Dream, who his style screams Hollywood, would actually get the win in the Staples Center. It would be perfect, but alas, 'tis not a perfect world. And Shayna Baszler, the Ronda Rousey of NXT and also one of her BFFs, defeated Kairi Sane, the Japanese princess, or the Japanese queen, whatever they call her, in a match that she had to get 2 out of 3 falls, which means she had to either pin her or get her to tap out 2 times out of 3, and you get the rest. And finally, Ricochet, Pete Dunne, and the War Raiders defeated the Undisputed Era in an epic War Games match. And if you're wondering what War Games are, I'll explain it to you best I know how by reading off of a list of rules. So there's a cage over 2 connected rings. 1 member from each team starts the match. 5 minutes later, a member from the team who won the advantage match last Wednesday gets to enter. Then in 3-minute intervals, the other members are let out. Then War Games begins, and pinfall and submissions will count after that to win the match. So, going on to the main event, Survivor Series. I already told you in the kickoff that the Usos won the 10 versus 10 tag team battle. And Natalya and Ruby Riott were removed from Raw women's team since they couldn't get along after Ruby Riott broke the sunglasses of Natalya's late father, Jim the Anvil Neidhart, about a couple weeks ago on Raw. And they were replaced by Bayley and Sasha Banks, despite luring them into a fake qualifying match before the SmackDown women invaded. And the Raw women's team turned out to be the winners of this bout with the Irresistible Force, and everybody's newly hated heel, Nia Jax, was the sole survivor. But let us not forget that Alexa Bliss was the team captain of this, and that's why they actually won. And the guys that took the Raw Tag Team titles from Seth Rollins, the Authors of Pain, defeated SmackDown Tag Team champs The Bar, featuring Big Show. But at least Big Show got to have the AOP manager, Drake Maverick, piss his pants. It was pretty amazing. Also, Intercontinental Champion Seth Rollins, because he still has 1 belt even though he lost the tag team belts, took a step in the right direction of moving past the Dean Ambrose drama with his victory over United States Champion Shinsuke Nakamura. And Dean Ambrose did not appear at all in this pay-per-view, surprisingly. And Cruiserweight Champion Buddy Murphy defended his title against Mustafa Ali. The Raw men's team defeated SmackDown in an epic brawl, and the commissioner, Shane McMahon, who is a participant on the SmackDown team, actually dived on the monster among men, Braun Strowman, and it was, like I said, an epic brawl. I don't know what else you want me to say. Also, Charlotte Flair lost to Ronda Rousey by disqualification by beating the brakes off her with a kendo stick. It was actually a very heated, but in a competitive sort of way, a matchup, not emotional sort of way. And then at some point, Charlotte just snapped and she went all brutality on Ronda. So she either might be Becky in disguise, or these two are just still best friends, perfect for each other, and still don't know it. I don't know. I guess we'll see on SmackDown tomorrow night. And Brock Lesnar, Our guy Brock Lesnar, one of the first people who wrote into What Would Thor Do, beats evil Daniel Bryan. So I guess it doesn't pay to be a bad guy after all, unless you've got the might and size to prove it. I don't know. We'll see how that all plays out tonight and tomorrow. Also, it was announced on WWE.com that Seth Rollins will be facing Dean Ambrose in next month's pay-per-view Tables, Ladders, Chairs, TLC for short, for the Intercontinental Championship. So maybe this will be put to bed after that, but probably not. It'll probably stretch all the way to WrestleMania. Also, finally, this morning, the trailer for Once Upon a Deadpool, the PG-13 version of Deadpool 2, where Deadpool ties down a grown-up Fred Savage and tells him a PG-13 version of the story. That trailer just came out, and it's out December 12th, and I very much encourage you to check out this trailer because, oh my god, it's hilarious. I'll just tell you, you'll never look at an alternate version of the Beatles again. And that's your Weekly Thunder for November 19th. I'm Sexy Thor, and remember to drink, fight, and make your ancestors proud. Also, stay a good guy, because bad guy stuff doesn't work out for Daniel Bryan. It might not work out for you.